Hello Year 7, it's Miss Malcare here again. Today we're going to be looking at writing our own adventure article. So to start us off, I just want you to complete this Do It Now task, which is to write synonyms for the following 4 words: sad, dark, cold and scary. A synonym is a word that means the same thing as another word. So a synonym for sad, an example would be upset. So pause the video now to give yourself a chance to fill in this table, or you can write it as a list if you prefer, and then come back when you're finished. Okay, so today we're going to be writing our own adventure article, and the reason we're doing this is that we looked at a couple of different articles last week, so it's an opportunity for you to show your understanding of non-fiction. So as you can remember, non-fiction is when someone writes about something that's true. So in this case, in the adventure article, it would be something that the writer actually did, something that actually happened to them. Okay, so your word of the day today is exaggerated. So something that's exaggerated is when something's presented or shown as being bigger, better, or worse than it actually is. So if it's a little bit rainy outside, you might say this is the worst weather ever, which is a little bit of an exaggeration. So if you can go around the word map and write down what category it's in, so that's whether it's a verb, an adjective, or a noun. Try and think of an opposite word if you can. Write down how it sounds, so what's the first sound, how many syllables are there, and are there any rhyming words? And then try and use it in an example sentence. So pause the video now to give yourself a chance to do that, and then come back when you're finished. Okay, so today we're going to be writing our own adventure article. So what I want you to do now is just to spend a bit of time planning that out. So there are 8 things here you need to think about. So try and write down some notes as you go. Give yourself some time to think about what place you're going to be writing about. If you had a bad or a good or a bad time, you need to come up with a headline. So if it's a newspaper article, it's going to have a headline. And add a picture as well. So if you're writing this down on paper, you can draw something, or if you're doing it on the computer, you can find something on the internet to put in. Think about what you're going to say in your introduction. What quotes are you going to use? So can you have maybe an interview from someone, something that they've said about the place that you're writing about? What adventure did you go on? So what's something exciting that you did while you were there, or interesting? And then think about how you're going to end it. So how are you going to summarize what you think of this place, wherever the adventure is? So try and do this about somewhere that you've been yourself, so that we can stick to the non-fiction. You could do it perhaps about a day out in maybe an amusement park, like somewhere like Thorpe Park, or maybe a school trip that you've been on before. Or even if you can't really think of anywhere, you could write it as someone who's maybe been to Hastings Beach or Hastings Town, if that's easier for you. So pause the video now to give yourself some time to plan out what you're going to do for your adventure article. So think about these 8 questions and then come back when you're ready with an idea. Okay, so now what I want you to do is to write out your article. So what you need to do is be clear about whether it was a good or a bad adventure. So you read an example last week of a good adventure of someone who went to Australia and a bad adventure of someone who went to Thailand. So make sure it's clear what your opinion is in your article. Is the place good or bad? Would you recommend it to other people? Make sure you've got a headline for your article and a picture to go with it. Use a quote in your article to support your point. So that could be from someone else who's there, or maybe someone in your own family who is with you. Use at least one word of the day. So one of the words that we've used in the past week or so. So you could use exaggerated from today, or maybe day tripper or something else that we looked at last week. And then try and use at least 3 of the words from the synonyms that you came up with at the start of the lesson. And yeah, so pause the video. You might want to keep this up to give yourself a chance to go back over what you need to do. Otherwise, you can go off and write it and then come back when you're finished. Okay, so what I want you to do then is to read through your article or get someone at home to read through it, and then write down what you think or what that person thinks is good about your article, and then one thing that you think could be improved on. So one thing you might do differently next time. Okay, thank you Year 7, that's all for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.